At 8:20 this evening, the police department received a call of a domestic incident occurring at the home behind me. It seems that the brother had taken his sister's car keys. She saw that he was intoxicated, he should not be driving, and she called the police department. By the time police officers got here, the man had returned home. His name is Joshua Kersey. Mr. Kersey had returned home. After he returned home, there was quite a bit of arguing between Mr. Kersey and his family because his family had notified the police department of his actions, and he was very irate with the family. He was threatening the family. He threatened harm to the police when they arrived. He was quite upset. By the time police officers got here, Mr. Kersey had taken a knife out of the kitchen and had gone into a bedroom where another occupant of the home, another man unrelated to him, was staying, and Kersey was holding that man hostage with the knife. Police officers negotiated or attempted to negotiate with Mr. Kersey for about 40 minutes, trying to get him to drop the knife, to come out of the room, let the hostage go, etc. None of that worked. Ultimately, the officers heard a struggle and a loud noise occurring inside the bedroom behind the door. One of the officers kicked the door in, yelled for Mr. Kersey to show his hands as he was engaged with or had his hands near or on the hostage. Kersey did not show his hands, and the officer fired one time on Kersey, fatally wounding him. The officer involved is Cole Ranseen, spelling the last name Ranseen, South Precinct Patrol Officer, one of a few officers who responded to this call. Officer Ranseen has been with the police department for 1 year. He was hired on in May of 2022.
Any officer injured?
Mr. Kersey's 30 years old. The deceased is 30 years old. No, none of the officers on the scene here tonight was injured. We'll have body cam released during the day tomorrow, as well as probably a 911 call. It has a lot of the commotion in the background. That should be released tomorrow as well.
How many people were in the home at the time?
At the time of the shooting, I believe most people had left at the time. There were 4 children in the home initially, but the children were out of the home by the time the officers went in and were trying to negotiate. I think Kersey's mother, his sister, and 4 children were inside the home, as well as this other person who lived in the home, this other man who lived in the home. But as the officers were focusing on this one bedroom where the door was closed, Kersey was inside with the knife, and he was yelling that he was going to harm the hostage if the police officers entered, that he would harm them as well. And ultimately the officers felt like they had to make entry because of the noises, because of the commotion, the struggling that they suddenly heard inside the bedroom.
Were there any previous encounters with police with the suspect?
He has a very minor prior history. I think it was a trespassing call, so it was very minor.
That covered?